I don't know why no one said this before, but you do not have to be in your 30s or your 40s to feel like you have some part of your life figured out. So this is for the girls that feel a little stuck in their 20-somethings. Now, when SZA said stuck in them 20-somethings, we all felt that. However, it does not have to stay that way, because although the 20-somethings are a time of a lot of adjustment and exploration, you're just growing up, you're becoming a full-time adult, you're having to do taxes, you're having to do a lot more things in society than we've previously had to do. People are getting married, people are having babies, people are going back to school, people are finishing school, people are starting school. Like the list is endless. Although all of that is happening and there's so much adjustment that comes with it and so many unknown factors, because you're kind of just taking it one step at a time. And that can lead to a lot of feeling stuck and not knowing where to go and what to do next and feeling like there's no clarity. Although that can be present, the power of duality lets us know that it's also possible to have at the same time, on the flip side, some clarity and vision and knowing that, hey, I may not have everything figured out right now, but I can feel somewhat settled and I don't have to feel stuck. So here are some key and very practical tips on how to get unstuck. Number 1, reduce the noise. We live in a world where the level of noise that we are exposed to is off the charts. Like, I don't think it's normal that we should have access to 1 million people's thoughts, heck, 1 billion people's thoughts, what they're up to, what they ate for lunch yesterday, and everything in between right at our fingertips every day, all day. That can't be healthy. However, that is the world we live in, and it has its pros as well, so don't get me wrong, but it also does have its cons. And so when you find yourself in a world like the world we currently live in, baby, if you're trying to not feel, and of course, from that, considering the world that we live in, people would feel stuck. Of course, we would feel like, where exactly am I meant to be going? What am I meant to be doing? When one of my friends just bought a house and the next one just moved out of their parents' house and the next one just moved back to their parents' house, like, and everything in between, of course, it's normal, and there's a tendency for us to feel like we're stuck, because it's like, I don't know which one to do, because I literally just woke up and I've seen what 12,000 different people have done in the span of an hour, and I start to question what I'm meant to be doing, and it starts to fill my mind with so much, and I have so many thoughts from the outside that I don't even have a second to sort through and find my thoughts. It's a little bit toxic. Let's be honest. Like, let's call it what it is. It is not normal and not conducive to us and our health. We're not even going to get into the mental health space, but our mental clarity, to have access to all of those. And so if you're going to be a person in your 20-somethings that has clarity of mind and has some level of vision on their lives, you're going to have to reduce the noise. It's a non-negotiable. Number 2, start to document your vision, no matter how small. Now, when you're trying to get clarity on anything and you're trying to get unstuck from in a certain season, you may feel like there is nothing that you know. There is no clarity at all. Like, you don't have any clue on what to do. But that's a lie. Because as long as you're a human being, as long as you're, especially women, like us girls, one thing we have, if nothing else, is intuition. Okay. And because of that intuition, and that intuition is not only good for, let me put it this way, your intuition is not only good for finding out if a guy is playing with you. Let's be honest, because that's what it's usually like. That's when we usually hear it or talk about it. Your intuition is also really good at giving you a clue of, I feel like this is where I'm meant to be. I feel like this is what I'm meant to be doing. I feel like this is where I'm meant to be at in this season. So no matter how stuck you feel, there is always a little bit of clarity that is waiting on the inside if you would reduce the noise a bit. Once you find that little piece, that little clue, start to write it down. Because what happens is, once you write down the first little one, And then the next day or maybe the next week, you write down the next little thing. And let's say, a week passed and you've reduced the noise, so you're hearing a little bit more, and you wake up and the first thought on your mind is not Twitter. It's actually, hey, I think I could build something. I think I could get into poetry. I think I could etc. Those are like building blocks, and they're little clues and little pieces of clarity that are contributing to your vision. So although it may not have started with the full picture, because let's be honest, I don't think any of us has a full picture on what we're meant to be doing with our lives, but we do have little clues. And when you write down and document those little clues, there is something so powerful that happens. In the Bible, there's a book in the Bible, Habakkuk 2, that talks about write the vision and make it plain. And this was God telling somebody that was trying to build something large. And he said, write the vision and make it plain, that he who reads it may run with it. God literally gave us the secret code because he knew something that we don't, but we're about to find out. And you don't have to experience it to learn for yourself. We can learn from other people, and every great person in the world will always tell you, write down your vision, make it very clear, make it very simple. We literally know when SMART goals were the biggest thing, from junior high to wherever you were at in the world, writing down your goals and making it specific and measurable and etc. The whole world is functioning on the fact that it's so important to write down your vision, no matter how small, because it does something. And now at this point, you've reduced the noise, so you're hearing yourself a little better. You're able to be in touch with the voice inside of you a little more, and then you're getting a little bit more clarity, and you're writing it down and making it super plain so that you're able to do something with it, so that you're able to look at it and start to think in the right direction of, this is where I think I'm meant to be headed. Once you get started on that, you don't want to wait too long. You want to put action to what you've been writing down. You want to put action to the revelations you've been receiving, because there is nothing worse than somebody who knows a lot and does nothing with it. It actually creates a huge sense of anxiety, because we think that anxiety is only being scared of the future or not knowing what the future holds. But anxiety is actually, a lot of the times, the root cause is having a lot of awareness and taking no action. So feeling like, oh, I can't actually do something about this, or I'm not doing something about what I already know. And that dissonance a lot of times causes a huge sense of anxiety. So you don't want to be caught in the middle of that. You've reduced the noise. You've started to write down your vision and make it plain. You do not want to sit on that. Get up and do something. Act. And even if you're starting out and where you're starting from is not how you see yourself ending, welcome to the club. You won't be the first, nor the last, nor even the 1,000th. That's how every great person started. In order to get to great, you have to go through good. You even have to go through mediocre. You know what I mean? The key thing is to not stay in there, but you can't not do anything because you're waiting for perfection. You'll be waiting a long time. And then after all of these things you're doing, but with all of these things you're doing and all these changes you're making, if you don't believe that you can actually be unstuck and that you can have some type of vision in your 20s, none of this even matters. Because I hear a lot of people saying, I can't wait to be 30, I can't wait to be 40. But baby, there are 20-year-olds, 20-something-year-olds killing it in the world right now. Your age is not a limitation for how far you can go. It's literally just a number. Do you know what I mean? How far you go is not determined by your age. It's determined by how much you know. And right now I'm putting you onto game, so you can't say you don't know. So you have to believe that I don't have to wait till 30 to figure things out. I don't have to wait till 30 to know exactly where I'm meant to be, to know, even if it's just for a season. I don't have to know it for my whole life, but I can have clarity even now. I can know what I've been called to even now. And then after that, honestly, it's just about staying consistent and, discipline, but that's a whole video for another day, and giving yourself grace, because the truth is the 20-somethings are a very dynamic period of life. Like I said at the beginning, so much is happening and everybody's life looks a little bit differently. So you can't even look to your friend and be like, oh, she's doing this, I can take a hint and do it. And we've grown up in a world where from the time we were children, all 4-year-olds were in preschool, all 5-year-olds were in kindergarten, all 6-year-olds were in grade 1. There's always been some type of systematic nature to you're this age and you do this. And then in your 20s, it's like a free-for-all. So it can be so scary and so overwhelming, but it doesn't mean it's not possible to find clarity even in the middle of that. But give yourself grace in the process. And let me tell you something, baby. There is a version of you that is unstuck in these 20-somethings. And I can't wait until you get to her, because she's waiting for you. Now, if this video resonated with you, and I really hope it did, this is the For the Girls channel. If you know, you know. I'm Toby Naomi. Consider me your internet big sister, best friend, whatever you want to call me. Share this video with somebody that you think it will resonate with as well. And join the family, because this channel is for all the girls. 20-somethings, even 30-somethings, and everybody in between. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.